My name is Hedi Viterbo, and I'm an interdisciplinary scholar of law and human rights. My research focuses on issues concerning childhood, state violence, and sexuality. And this short video is the first in a series of 5. In these videos, we challenge conventional wisdom about the young people that society defines as children. We call into question common assumptions about these young people, their characteristics, their needs and interests, and their wishes. So, let's take a look at the issues we're going to discuss in this video series. First, we'll consider the widespread assumption that the people we call children are universally different from those we call adults. We'll ask to what extent the supposed differences between these groups are really natural. Is it possible that childhood is largely a social and legal invention? Could it be that the law doesn't simply deal with children, but rather creates the categories of childhood and adulthood and amplifies the differences between them? From there, we'll move to the second issue, which is the assumption that youngsters need special protection. On the face of it, the notion of child protection serves the interests of the young people we call children. But as we'll see, it has actually been harmful to them, especially to those from disempowered communities. We examine this problem through examples from a broad range of times and places. The third issue we'll explore is a legal principle known as the child's right to be heard. Advocates of child rights claim that this right empowers youngsters and supports their participation. As we'll see, the legal wording of this so-called right of the child to be heard in fact does something very different. It gives adult decision makers almost limitless discretion as to whether and how to consider young people's views. And the law entirely denies young people the right to participate in some activities that hugely affect their lives. Finally, we'll discuss child work. This is a vivid illustration of the other issues we've discussed. In this context, we'll see how the law has pushed under 18s outside the realm of paid work, supposedly to protect them. But this has been opposed by young workers around the world and also by various scholars. They argue that the legal restrictions on child work ignore the opinions of these working children themselves, and that these restrictions often do more harm than good. We'll consider their arguments on the matter. So, throughout these issues, there's a common thread, and that's the question of whether our assumptions, policies, and laws regarding childhood make sense. Could they be doing more harm than good? Could they be blinding us to the fact that childhood as it is today is not natural or inevitable? Could they be preventing us from realizing that childhood is a legal invention that doesn't necessarily serve young people's interests? Join me for the next videos where we'll consider all of these important questions.